He was handsome, he was charismatic. He could have been anyone's son, brother, or friend. Ted Bundy was the embodiment of the American dream gone terribly wrong. He shattered the illusion of normalcy, revealing the darkness that could lurk beneath the most unassuming surface. The world saw a charming young man, but beneath the surface hid a predator, a monster who would change the landscape of criminal history forever. Bundy's life was a study in contrasts. He was a law student who volunteered at a suicide hotline. He was a political campaigner who exuded confidence and charm. Yet behind this carefully constructed facade was a deeply disturbed individual, driven by a sinister secret. His story is a stark reminder that evil often wears a mask of normalcy, making its presence known only when it's too late. Theodore Robert Cowell, later known as Ted Bundy, entered the world shrouded in secrecy. Born out of wedlock in 1946, his early years were marked by instability and a fractured family life. Raised by his grandparents, who he believed to be his parents, Bundy's childhood was far from idyllic. The truth of his parentage remained a closely guarded secret, casting a long shadow over his sense of identity and belonging. As Bundy grew, so did the cracks in his carefully constructed facade. There were hints of the darkness that would consume him. He exhibited disturbing behavior, including a fascination with violence and a growing disregard for social norms. His seemingly normal childhood concealed a simmering rage and a dangerous curiosity that would eventually manifest in the most horrific ways. Adolescence brought fresh challenges for Bundy. He remained an enigma to those around him. He excelled academically, projecting an image of intelligence and ambition. Yet, a darkness lurked beneath the surface, fueled by a growing sense of alienation and a twisted perception of power. His inability to form genuine emotional connections morphed into a chilling detachment from human life. Bundy's transformation from troubled youth to cold-blooded killer was a gradual descent into madness. Failed relationships, academic setbacks, and a growing obsession with control fueled his inner demons. He began to withdraw further into himself, seeking solace in violent fantasies that would soon become a terrifying reality. The monster within was awakened, ready to unleash its fury on the world. One of the most unsettling aspects of Bundy's story was his ability to blend in. He was handsome, articulate, and possessed a disarming charm that made him appear trustworthy and approachable. This carefully cultivated persona was his most dangerous weapon, allowing him to gain the trust of his victims before unleashing his brutality. He became a phantom, lurking in the shadows of everyday life. Bundy's tactics were as calculated as they were chilling. He often feigned injury or impersonated authority figures to disarm his victims. His intelligence and charisma, traits that could have led him down a different path, became tools of manipulation in his twisted game of cat and mouse. He understood the vulnerabilities of human nature, exploiting them with ruthless efficiency. Section 5, Web of Lies, Bundy's Modus Operandi and Evolving Tactics. As Bundy's reign of terror continued, so did his methods evolve. He became a chameleon, altering his appearance and refining his tactics to avoid detection. His crimes, initially characterized by opportunistic abductions, took on a more sinister and organized pattern. He meticulously planned his attacks, often stalking his victims for weeks and selecting locations that offered anonymity. Bundy's ability to compartmentalize his crimes was chilling. He maintained a facade of normalcy, continuing his studies and engaging in relationships, all while leading a double life as a ruthless predator. His crimes were not driven by passion or rage, but by a cold, calculated desire for control and domination. He viewed his victims as objects, dehumanizing them to satisfy his twisted desires. Section 6, Reign of Terror, a trail of abductions and unspeakable crimes. The Pacific Northwest became synonymous with terror as Bundy's reign of terror escalated. Young women began disappearing with alarming frequency, their disappearances leaving a trail of grief and unanswered questions. The authorities were baffled, struggling to connect the dots in a case that seemed to defy all logic and reason. Fear gripped the region as the body count rose. Bundy's crimes were not merely acts of violence, but displays of depravity that shocked even the most hardened investigators. He often revisited his victims, reliving his heinous acts and further dehumanizing his victims. His crimes were marked by a chilling lack of remorse, a testament to the depths of his depravity. He was a monster who reveled in the suffering he inflicted. Section 7. Slipping through the cracks, Bundy's daring escapes and evasions. Despite mounting evidence and a growing list of victims, Bundy remained elusive. His intelligence and cunning, coupled with a series of fortunate circumstances, allowed him to escape justice time and again. His ability to blend in and manipulate those around him made him a ghost, seemingly vanishing into thin air. He became a master of deception. Bundy's first escape from a Colorado courthouse in 1977 sent shockwaves through law enforcement. He had seemingly vanished into thin air, exploiting weaknesses in the system and highlighting the challenges of capturing a criminal as cunning and resourceful as Bundy. His escape was a testament to his audacity and his unwavering belief in his own invincibility. Section 8. The walls close in. A trail of evidence and the long arm of the law. As Bundy continued his reign of terror, law enforcement closed in. A nationwide manhunt was underway, fueled by a growing mountain of evidence and the tireless efforts of dedicated investigators. Forensic science, still in its infancy, began playing a crucial role in connecting the dots, linking Bundy to multiple crime scenes. The net was closing in. A routine traffic stop in August 1975 proved to be Bundy's undoing. A search of his vehicle revealed incriminating evidence, including a ski mask, handcuffs, and a crowbar. The pieces of the puzzle were finally falling into place, exposing the true nature of the man who had managed to evade justice for so long. The game was up. Section 9. Justice served. The trial and conviction of a master manipulator. Bundy's trial was a media spectacle, captivating the nation and shining a spotlight on the dark side of the American psyche. He reveled in the attention, often acting as his own attorney and using the courtroom as a stage to further his own narcissistic desires. He maintained his innocence, proclaiming his love for his victims even as the evidence against him mounted. Despite his attempts to manipulate the legal system, Bundy was found guilty on multiple counts of murder and sentenced to death. His conviction was a victory for justice, but it did little to erase the pain and suffering he had inflicted. The families of his victims finally had their day in court, but their lives would forever be scarred by his heinous acts. Section 10. The Bundy Legacy, a haunting reminder of the face of evil. Ted Bundy's name became synonymous with evil, his crimes leaving an indelible mark on the American psyche. He shattered the illusion of safety and security, forcing society to confront the uncomfortable reality that monsters could lurk behind the most ordinary facades. His legacy is a chilling reminder of the vulnerability of innocence and the depths of human depravity. Even in death, Bundy continued to fascinate and horrify. His case became a blueprint for criminal profiling, his crimes studied by law enforcement agencies around the world in an effort to understand the motivations of such predators. He became a cautionary tale, a reminder that evil could lurk in the most unexpected places. Section 11. Echoes of Terror. The enduring impact on criminal profiling and society. Ted Bundy's reign of terror may have ended in 1989 with his execution, but his impact on criminal profiling and society continues to this day. His crimes forced law enforcement to rethink their approach to criminal investigations, leading to advancements in forensic science and a greater understanding of the psychology of serial killers. He inadvertently helped to refine the tools used to combat evil. Bundy's ability to manipulate and deceive those around him highlighted the importance of vigilance and awareness. His case served as a stark reminder that evil does not always present itself in a monstrous form. It can lurk behind charming smiles and seemingly normal exteriors, waiting for the opportunity to strike. The echoes of his terror continue to resonate, urging us to remain vigilant against the darkness that can lurk in the shadows of humanity.